Oh, what an eye-opening presentation. A lot to think about in there. Of course, we will open up to questions from the audience shortly, but before we do, we'll have a short conversation, or as Professor Flint unpretentiously likes to call it, a conversazione, with the Roy Morgan team, and then we'll open up to the floor.
Thank you, Jai, for that compliment. This is working, isn't it? If I could take you back to the constitutional issues. The latest poll, which you took just after the Queen's visit, showed a rise in support for the Republic from 34 to 37. And now, trying to justify that in my mind, as you can imagine I would want to, I looked firstly at the margin of error. Is this within, or shortly within, closely within the margin of error? The other thing that I noticed was that the only state where support for a republic went up was in this state, unusually, and it went up to 43, whereas the Republican state of Victoria was down at 36. Did it have anything to do with the fact that the Queen did not come to Sydney, which Peter Coleman says was the work of the previous government of New South Wales, which didn't wish to deliver this to the O'Farrell government and did nothing about having the Queen in New South Wales?
Well, I think that could be easily answered in that the Queen went to Canberra, which is, of course, fool's paradise. And seeing the Queen in Canberra travelling around in her Land Rover, visiting some of the places there, must have made the people of New South Wales very annoyed. Canberra is absolutely out of touch with reality, and the first place the Queen goes to is Canberra, and I'm not surprised the number of people in New South Wales objecting to a monarchy didn't go much higher.
Thank you. Am I right in assuming with referenda that opinion polls tend to come out higher? They give a higher yes but vote at the beginning, but when people actually vote, it comes down lower. Is that a reasonable conclusion to draw from referenda in Australia? Your organisation's been around for a long time.
And that's a good question. What we've found in referendums is that the can't say normally vote no. So if you add the can't say to the no vote, you see that most referendums then don't get up on that figure. We do find, though, that also the public opinion changes during the debate of a referendum. And as I said, there's no chance there'll ever be a republic in Australia until the government of the day agrees that the president is elected by the people. While the a referendum for a republic is along the lines of three wise men, three parliamentarians or ex-parliamentarians or ex-people associated with Parliament are going to control the monarchy or control the Parliament of the day, I'd be very surprised, and the people of Australia agree with me, that a referendum would ever get up for a republic in Australia. Now, that may change. You may find a leader who's got imagination, who believes Australia should be a republic with an elected president and less power to Canberra, and I think that if that were the case, more states' rights, I think there's a good chance that a republic would get up, and you'd have to relook at the way in which you position yourself today.
Thank you. Just moving on to unemployment, I understand that the ABS says that if I manage to find 1 hour of work a week, I'm employed. I'm not sure whether that's the case, but I think your figures, you show 8.6 unemployment, which is several points above the ABS statistics. Why are theirs low and yours at 8.6?
Yeah, the ABS has a particular way of measuring unemployment, and you're right, if you worked for 1 hour last week, or indeed if you were on holiday and not available to work at all last week, you wouldn't be counted as unemployed. In order to be counted as unemployed, you have to be not working at all, either paid or unpaid, and you have to be available for work. So it's a very tough definition, and it does tend to diminish the number of people that would be considered unemployed. Our question's really simple. We ask people, are you employed? full-time, part-time, or are you looking for work? And if people are looking for work, we say they're unemployed. Very simple. It has nothing to do with reclassifications, like if you move people from an unemployment benefit to some kind of illness benefit or a job start program or any other political sort of bucket that you want to put them into. It's irrelevant. We say if people are looking for work, they get counted as unemployed, and it's a pretty real number.
If I could just make a comment also. On September 10, 2008, I gave a paper, Who Will Be the Next Prime Minister of Australia? A woman, and it'll be sooner than you think. That was correct, of course, after John Howard and Rudd, we had a woman, and Julia Gillard. But in that paper, I pointed out very clearly that the Howard government was at fault for trying to con the electorate and saying that there was no unemployment. At the present time, the Gillard government and Abbott, as opposition leader, trying to tell the electorate that there's no unemployment. It's in the 5% range. Until the government comes clean on unemployment, they're going to keep being involved in a revolving door change of government. The electorate's not stupid. There are nearly well over 1 million people who are underemployed, people who work 1 or 2 hours a week who want more work. And as Michelle Levine just pointed out, if you work 1 hour in the period, you are classified as being employed. If you're not seeking work, you're classified as, you can't be classified as not being unemployed. There are many people in Australia who have given up looking for work, and there's many people who would like more work. Don't just blame the government, blame the unions, because they have outrageous work practices where you work Monday to Friday at single time, weekends at double time. So what do most people do? They work in the cash economy. We've got a cash economy running rampant in this country. It's stealing from the people. It's something the government should fix. They have no intention of fixing it. The Howard government had no intention of fixing it, so we deserve the governments we've got because we vote for them. It's time the people started being tough on the government for not waking up to the shocking situation of masses of people unemployed and underemployed.
You give the Gillard government some solace in your latest opinion polls, but I notice that there's a difference, is there not, between your face-to-face and your telephone polls. Do you find one is more accurate than the other, or are they each equally accurate?
Do you want me to...
And could I also ask...
I'll give you the technical answer.
Are you the only ones who do face-to-face?
We're the only people who do face-to-face polling in Australia, one of the few companies in the world that do face-to-face polling. And we have a wonderful system where we put the information straight into handheld computers, and it comes back to our office in Melbourne overnight. So we have probably the best system of face-to-face polling in the world. It's the most accurate. You get a higher response rate, and but unfortunately it's very expensive. And telephone polling we also do. We get the same results, but the survey's got to be conducted at the same time exactly. The telephone polls are done normally on a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday evening. The face-to-face polls are normally done on the weekend. Today's news poll, published today from surveying last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, got a 53-47, that's Liberal and Labor, was exactly the same result as we published on Friday when you distribute the preferences, how people voted at the last election. What we released, 51.5 Labor, 51.5 Liberal National Party, 48.5 Labor, was based on how people said they would vote their second preferences. And I made a comment in the release on Friday, roymorgan.com, you can all look at it, was that the Greens and the Independents and the non-major parties are giving their preferences now more to the ALP than they have been previously up until now.